In less than 48 hours here in Jerusalem, families will be sitting down to a Seder table. The same table, the same story told for over 3,000 years. And here's what I want to ask you. What does that have to do with you? If you're a follower of Yeshua, of Jesus, the answer is everything. Because the cross makes no sense without Passover. And Passover makes no sense without the cross. I'm Wayne Hillsden. I've lived in Jerusalem for over 40 years. And every Passover, this ancient story hits me afresh. And let me show you why it should hit you the same way. We're going to look back at the most dramatic night in Jewish history. 9 plagues have already fallen on Egypt. Pharaoh has refused to release the Israelites 9 times. And now God announces a 10th, the worst one, the death of every firstborn in the land. But here's where everything turns. God doesn't simply judge, He provides a way of escape. Here's the instruction He gives to every Israelite family. Take a lamb, keep it for 4 days. On the 14th of Nisan at twilight, slaughter it. Take its blood, dip a branch of hyssop in it, mark the top of your doorframe, and mark the 2 sides. Go inside. Do not come out until morning. And then in one of the most extraordinary sentences of all of Scripture, God says, "When I see the blood, I will pass over you." Not when I see your good deeds, not when I see how hard you've tried, when I see the blood. The blood marks you and me as belonging to God. Every household that applied that blood was saying the same thing without words. We belong to the God who provides the lamb. In Exodus 11:7, God makes a distinction, it says, between Egypt and Israel. And the mark of that distinction wasn't ethnicity. It wasn't how long they'd lived in Goshen. It was one thing: the blood on the door. That principle hasn't changed. The mark of belonging to God isn't your nationality. It's whether you've come under the blood of the Lamb. The blood creates a threshold between death and life. Picture that doorframe for a moment. A father on the night of Passover dips a branch of hyssop in the blood of the lamb. He reaches up and he marks the horizontal beam above the door, then the left side, and then the right. Top, left, right. That doorframe was stained, as it were, in the shape of a cross. Every Israelite walked through that door, through that cross-shaped door, as it were, to reach safety. Now later, a man would stretch out his arms on a wooden cross, and everyone who passes through him would find life. I am the door, Yeshua said in John 10:9. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved. That sketch of the cross of blood on a doorframe in Egypt. Now that blood had to be applied by faith, or it wasn't applied at all. Here's the part that stops me every time. The destroying angel that night was not checking whether someone knew about the lamb or believed in the lamb in theory. The question was, is the blood on your door? A family could have owned the most beautiful lamb in Goshen, could have slaughtered it correctly, gathered the blood in a basin, and then done nothing with it. That family would not have been spared. Now, you know everything about what Yeshua did on the cross. You could have grown up hearing about it. You can believe it happened historically, but at some point, the hyssop has to touch the doorframe of your heart. At some point, it goes from information to decision. The Apostle Paul, himself a Jew, who understood Passover from childhood, makes this connection in one devastating sentence. Christ, our Passover lamb, has been sacrificed. Not a Passover lamb, not like a Passover lamb, our Passover lamb. The lamb killed in Egypt was a foreshadow. The lamb killed outside the walls of Jerusalem was the reality. The blood on the doorframe said, a substitute has died so you don't have to. The blood on the cross says exactly the same thing to all of humanity in every generation. And the extraordinary thing about being here in Jerusalem just before Passover, the city where the original lamb pointed forward is the same city where the ultimate lamb fulfilled it. You remember, on the same mountain range, Moriah, where Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb. Well, it's in the same city where he did provide the ultimate lamb. Somewhere in this city, in a few days, we'll be asking the youngest child 4 questions. One of them is, why is this night different from all the other nights? The answer for a follower of Yeshua is this: because on that night a door was marked with blood so that death would pass over. And on another night, a Friday, outside the city wall, the lamb was slain so that death itself would be defeated. Same story, a deeper layer, greater grace. If you've never thought of Passover as your story, it needs to be. The blood that saved a nation is the same blood that saves a soul. And if you've never actually applied it, never moved from knowing about it to trusting in it, then today is your Passover. I'm Wayne Hilsden, coming to you from Jerusalem. If this has been a blessing to you, please like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.